welcome to a TMC video interview. Thanks for watching. My name's Rich Tehrani. On our program today is Jim Machi. He is the SVP of Product Management and Marketing at Sangoma. And Jim, welcome back to another TMC video interview. I think you're probably in the top 5 or 10 of all time. I think we've interviewed, and you probably interviewed other people on the team, been interviewed by them. I'd say I'm going to have to ballpark it 5, 10, 20 times. I don't know, 10 to 20?
Probably more like 20. I'll take that as a good thing, Rich. Some people could take it like, what the hell, you've been around so long. Yeah.
Well, that's good. The way I look at it is you've got a lot of experience and you've got a lot to share.
Yeah.
And interestingly, the company that you work for is in a similar situation where it's a leader in a bunch of different areas, from service to hardware to open source. And I figure we should touch on that first, just in case someone's not familiar. You want to just give us the elevator pitch on what you guys are and where you're going?
Sure. So we provide unified communication solutions. That's what we primarily do today, although from our background, our history, people may know us from our open source roots. Free PBX and Asterisk are both part of our company, but we've grown both organically and through acquisitions. So VoIP Innovations, Digium, part of Dialogic, which is how I came here. So, we have a broad portfolio of products now, and it's centered around UC, I'll say.
Very exciting. And then you recently got a great accolade from Frost & Sullivan. It was a UC and Collaboration Competitive Strategy Leadership Award. Yeah. Tell us about that. Why do you think you won that?
So, they did it without us knowing it, and that's always really, awesome to hear that. I talked to them, obviously, afterwards. They have criteria. If you read the report, it's on our website. If you read it, there's criteria there. But I would say the two main things, we have end-to-end solutions. So we don't just offer the software, we also offer phones and SIP trunking. And so you have an end-to-end solution where people can come and get everything. And the other thing was we also offer prem and cloud. And so from their perspective, the ability to be a trusted advisor, let's say you guys wanted to buy something. You didn't know whether you want cloud or prem. We can go through the pros and cons of each, because cloud isn't the best thing in the history of the world, and prem, has benefits too, right? So we can go through both, and then the customer can decide what to do. So that trusted advisor, it was important. And that was also sort of an important part of that award. Okay.
That's great. And they just can check it out at sangoma.com.
Yep.
Great. Now, we're in January 2021 for those people that are curious when this is being recorded. And, we now are almost a full month after 2020, which was a historic year for numerous reasons, obviously, COVID related. How did that affect your business, cloud, and some of the other parts of your business?
Well, I think we're no different than other UC vendors. UC was a good space to be during the pandemic because it enabled remote workers. And, we didn't call it remote work. We called it work while you're, work out of the office, work while you're traveling, that kind of stuff. But it's all the same, right? So that was a good space to be. From our cloud business, they all grew, as you might expect, because people wanted to, be able to remote work. And one thing we found, though, with our UC systems is there were people that bought them just for PBXs. And so that March week, remember that March 23rd week, I think we all remember that, where all of a sudden we had to work from home. There were people that didn't know we had mobility, like you could make a phone call that went to your laptop and make a phone call that went to your mobile phone, even though they had bought our systems, right? So I think the whole element of mobility for all the UC vendors, like, it just got out there more. And so I think it's going to be good for us, all of us going forward out there. So all the cloud businesses grew, the UCaaS business, the trunking business, even our fax service, grew. People needed to send faxes, all this health stuff, right, and HIPAA. So, there were some elements of you're losing some customers because they're going out of business, and I think that's probably the same for everybody. But overall, 2020 was pretty good for us in terms of the cloud business. Okay, that's a good question.
That's great. Now, you picked up a company called VoIP Innovations. They were really, well known in the SIP trunking space, and
Yeah.
and I'm curious how that's doing for you.
Yeah. Okay. So that's like 18 months ago. We have invested in that business in the wholesale sort of cloud voice services part of their business, and we've also invested in the CPaaS part of their business. So they're coming out with like fraud detection. Even before the stir shaking, they're coming out with some stuff so you can do caller ID. Like when you get the message on your phone and it says spam risk. And so that kind of stuff is available today before the stir shaking that's going to come in June. So we're investing in that area. We're happy with it. It's doing well, so that's good.
That's really good, and certainly CPaaS is a hot space.
Yeah.
Not slowing down either, based on the
Yeah.
reports I've seen. The last time I saw you at an industry event, the last time I saw you at all, and the last industry event I was at, probably you too, was IT Expo.
Yeah.
It was February in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, part of the Tech Super Show, and then you just purchased E4 integration, and we talked about it. And I'm curious now. It's been approximately what, 6-7 months. How's it going?
Yeah, so that was the last show I went to, Rich. I think you had the last show, and maybe you'll have the first new show after we're able to go again. We announced that acquisition at your show, and so when you interviewed me there, that was what we talked about. So E4 is doing well. They're sort of spearheading our open source part of our business, both from sales and they're helping with generating ideas for marketing and all that kind of stuff. So we're very happy with them. It's going well. All those guys are still here, and I think that shows our commitment to the open source space. That those guys are still here, and that business is doing well. Okay.
That's great. Really exciting. So, what's next? Where do we go from here? Tell us what exciting stuff you have in the hopper.
Yeah, so we continue to work on cloud products, and I talked about we won that award because of the end-to-end concept of UCaaS, but we also want to provide end-to-end as a service, communication as a service offerings. So we have UCaaS, we have fax, we have trunking. We want to offer, and we have CPaaS. So we have a bunch of things. We want to continue to offer additional services like that. We have video meetings right now that we came out with actually in April. That's another one. And we're going to be introducing next month something like access control. So going into your office as a service using your mobile phone, because there's a lot of similarities there with if you need to give me the ability to go into a door, it's similar to the ability you need in a PBX to make phone calls, right? So the authentication part is similar. So we're going to do that, and it'll be part of a suite of as a service offerings that we offer. So you'll see us doing that. So that's kind of where we're going. I also have talked more and more. One of the things this year, I started talking to customers over the phone. Like we can't see them that much, right? And I found that they're using Zoom or they're using Slack. And a lot of the UC tools like ours, like we have that in the UC tools already. So I think the UC vendors that come from the phone part of the business, like we did, need to talk more and more about, hey, we have collaboration, we have video as part of our offerings. And so you can have one suite of tools to use. You won't need to, hey, let's download Slack and use it. Let's download Zoom and all that. So I think that's one thing that, during all these video calls and that I've been doing, I've been sort of talking to our customers and finding that out. Because just like we talked about before with the mobility, they didn't know we had mobility. A lot of these guys, our customers even, or prospects, they don't know we could do these other things. And so I think all the UC vendors need to talk about that.
Great. I mean, there are benefits to not having 6 disparate
Yeah.
tools, and it's, you know, it's not just the different tools, whether you have one for messaging and then you have another one for video, but you know, you end up having 6 for video and 6 for messaging. So your desktop is littered, and you know, I've had days where I've had 4 different vendors video calls, and it's just, you know, I think somehow we have to minimize that.
Yeah, yeah, I'm sure. Anyway, Rich, it's been really good talking to you. I hope to see you in person one of these days.
Yeah, well, you know, since you gave us the plug, IT Expo June 22 to 25, Miami live
Right.
show. It'll have
Yeah.
a virtual component too, and we're
Yeah.
excited to welcome people back safely to the Miami Convention Center.
All right.
Thanks again.
Good. Good. All right, Rich. Thanks a lot.